Hey Stoic soul. Yes, you, the one who keeps hoping one day people will just get it. You wake up greeted by the same vague ache, that tension under your chest, the dread that no one takes you seriously, not even your own mind. Too many days spent explaining yourself, defending your thoughts to people who forget your words by lunch. The noise outside sneaks in. You scroll, you flinch, you trade dignity for a crumb of approval and call it connection. Pause. Let that ache through, just for a blink. The Stoics warned us, your peace is not public property. They taught centuries ago that respect, real, silent, rooted, begins inside. If you're here to stop negotiating your dignity, stay with us. Breathe. Settle in. Because tonight, we master the habits that make disrespect impossible. You spend nights arguing with imaginary critics, each time you replay that awkward moment, casting yourself as a defendant in someone else's mind. But the Stoics taught, your only judge is your conscience. It's not about what they see, but how you sit with yourself when the noise fades. Tonight, let's talk about moving from self-doubt to sovereign self-auditing, standing tall in your own moral court. Let's picture your mind as an ancient stone courthouse, echoing, dignified, and bafflingly drafty. Many of us have made a habit of holding kangaroo courts in here, day after day, letting fickle witnesses like that barista who smirked and my distant uncle on Facebook take the stand. They file in, those shadowy jurors, offering unsolicited opinions on your outfit, your voice, what you posted. No matter how benevolent their advice, there they are, passing judgment on crimes you never committed. The Stoics would have looked at this parade of opinionated ghosts and frowned in dignified, marble bust silence. But what if, humour me for a moment, you locked the doors of that chilly courthouse? What if you hung up a firm sign? Trial closed. Judges reassigned and installed at the grand bench. Only one person. Yourself? Imagine Demosthenes the hamster wandering across the marble, gnawing on a solitary sunflower seed in approval. Now, the only trial is the nightly inquisition where you, and only you, question what you did today. Was I kind? Did I act with integrity? Did I check my phone 300 times an hour, or only 200? If you messed up, the verdict is not shame, but resolve. You become both the wise judge and, occasionally, the slightly dishevelled defendant, but never, ever, the public defendant of the internet's opinion. Epictetus once remarked, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Frankly, that sounds terrifying. Who wants to be the only one at the toga party missing the punchline? But that's the magic. In your inner court, only your intentions are weighed. Comparison is dismissed for lack of evidence. Performance is measured by your own evolving standards. Criticism can file an appeal, but only if it was constructive and submitted before 5 p.m., preferably with a snack attached. You begin to feel a warm, soft glow, a glow of being accountable to your own moral compass, and not the snide, gossipy squirrels in the balcony. Consider how every awkward memory, every cringy moment replayed under your mental cross-examination can be met with calm laughter. Objection. Relevance, you cry, as your mind attempts to call a fourth-grade embarrassment to testify. Practice inner courtship by tending to your character, not for show, not for a crowd, but for the quiet pride of being the best judge for yourself. Remember, Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and still took the time to rule himself every night, reviewing his day with the patience of a kindly retiree counting birds. You can do the same, minus the stress of barbarian invasions and questionable Roman plumbing. So, as the world hushes and your body prepares for sleep, brush off the dust from your imaginary judge's gavel. The gavel need not be heavy. It might look tonight like a fluffy slipper, or a toothbrush, or the snooze button on your alarm clock. Hold yourself in gentle, honest regard. Stand trial, but never for crimes of other people's imagination. Your inner court should be the coziest, safest jurisdiction you know. Remember, you hold the final verdict, and tonight you are found gloriously, imperfectly, hilariously human. Court is adjourned. Sleep tight, Your Honor. Law. 2. The uncrossable line. You say yes because no feels rude. You accept interruptions. Let others trample your schedule, your space, your energy. The Stoics did not. Setting a gentle but firm limit isn't cruelty. It's dignity. Let's explore how drawing an inviolable circle around your time and peace changes the way others see you. Picture Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, philosopher in a robe, and early adopter of do not disturb mode. While governing an empire, and, not incidentally, trying to take a nap, Marcus perfected the art of dignified boundary setting. In his meditations, he is basically subtweeting both family and colleagues. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Translation. You don't have to say yes to every meeting, toga party, or surprise council about grain inventories. What if your life, too, was protected by a kind of invisible velvet rope? Not an aggressive electric fence, just a polite but immovable line, like a museum cord that quietly says, admire, but don't touch. This is not selfishness, it's preservation. Stoics believed you can only offer your best self to others when you aren't stretched like expired chewing gum. Tonight, as you drift off, imagine you are the nocturnal bouncer of your own peace. The unruly thoughts, those jumpy, caffeine-fueled what-ifs, step up to the door. In a voice smooth as ancient marble, you say, not on the list. And they slink away, clutching their anxieties like awkward party favors. But what about those relentless requesters? The neighbor who wants a quick favor that eats your whole afternoon? The coworker who assumes your silence is the same as, sure, I'll do it. Or the friend who texts, can you talk, 15 minutes before midnight? Modern Stoicism says, respond like Epictetus would, with a gentle, deliberate, no, not now. You are guarding a finite resource, your time and composure. Practice saying no, not as a flaming sword, but as a cool, fragrant incense wafting between you and chaos. Imagine shrinking your calendar until there's room for your thoughts to actually echo in the corners. Say no as a courtesy to yourself. And yes, only when it's real, when your agreement is voluntary, not wrung from you like a very confused sponge. This boundary is also an invitation. It tells those around you that you respect both yourself and them enough to be honest. Parents, partners, colleagues, even your cat will sense it. People feel steadier around those who don't veer off their center every time an expectation beckons. Your limits become your legend. They never snap because they never overextend. They are as unflappable as a stone bench, possibly the bench outside Marcus's house, possibly used for napping. Remember, any time you claim a boundary, you give others silent permission to claim theirs too. You are participating in an ancient, neighborly exchange. The market of mutual respect. Not a wallflower boundary, wilting at the first challenge, but the Stoics' golden circle. A perimeter of calm, where your soul can lay out a towel and sunbathe in undisturbed tranquility. So the next time someone presses for a yes, channel the Stoic emperor within. Stand, serene, amused, maybe with a metaphorical olive wreath atop your head, and declare gently, I value my peace. I will not cross this line tonight. Watch your world shift as brick by slow, deliberate brick. You build borders not of defense, but of dignity. Law 3. Quiet is your signature. You rush to fill awkward silences, spill your secrets to fill a void that isn't yours, over-explain until your truth feels brittle. Epictetus said, "Nature gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason." Tonight, you'll discover how every gap in conversation is an opportunity for unseen power, and how holding your silence is the mark of a mind no one dares to underestimate. Picture yourself at a dinner table, clinking forks, and in that brief lull between topics, everyone glances around, fidgeting, ready to assault the silence like it owes them money. But imagine, just for a moment, doing nothing, letting the pause hang there. You take a slow sip of water. Maybe you raise a brow if you're feeling dramatic. You become the Mona Lisa of the conversation, enigmatic, composed, possibly plotting the conquest of Rome, but nobody can tell. That's the vibe we're going for. Selective silence is less, "I forgot what I was saying," and more, "I know exactly what I'm not telling you." It's the verbal equivalent of a well-tailored suit. Sharp, intentional, and saying more by saying less. The Stoics understood that silence can be used tactically, not as a weapon of passive aggression, save that for bad Wi-Fi signals, but as a shield, a signal that you aren't rattled by the world's frantic pace. Each time you choose not to fill the air with unnecessary words, you reclaim just a little control over the moment, and most importantly, over yourself. Think of Marcus Aurelius, sitting in the Roman Senate, surrounded by people who believe the loudest voice must be the wisest. Marcus, he'd listen, he'd nod. Occasionally he'd touch his beard, a philosopher's power move. He spoke only when his words added something more valuable than stillness. And in that, his silence became dense with meaning. A gravity that encouraged others to fill the gaps, sometimes with their own foolishness. Try this tomorrow. When someone asks you a difficult question, pause. Don't panic and blurt out the first thing that leaps to mind. Breathe. Become, just temporarily, a riddle wrapped in a mystery. The Stoics knew this pause is discomfort for the hurried mind, but peace for the prepared. In that heartbeat of stillness, you buy yourself time. You gain perspective. Most importantly, you resist the urge to leak your power away with needless elaboration. Notice, too, how few people genuinely listen in conversations. Our minds race ahead, eager to respond, outwit, impress. But selective silence nudges you back to genuine listening. Epictetus pointed out that it was folly to spend one's words frivolously, the way some people spend paycheck bonuses at fancy coffee shops. Words, like currency, lose value when too easily spent. Listen with both ears. Answer only with purpose. That's the Stoics' gold standard. If silence feels awkward, remember, that's social conditioning at work. Somewhere along the line, someone convinced us that silence is dangerous, something to plug with chatter before it swallows us up. Let's debunk that. Imagine your silence as yoga for the mind. Each quiet moment, a serene downward dog for the soul. The brain softens, the inner monologue chills out. Your presence becomes magnetic, not by being the loudest in the room, but by quietly radiating. I'm comfortable here. Are you? Selective silence is not about being mysterious for its own sake. It's about recognizing the resilience in restraint. Just as you wouldn't wear your entire wardrobe at once, there's power in revealing your opinions, information, and emotions only when they're truly needed. Even your most embarrassing stories have their place, but perhaps not spilled at every lull, like confetti at a parade. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, practice the art of not filling every space. Let your thoughts settle, like sediment in a glass of water. The habit of selective silence makes every word you do share count more. And as you rest, remember, sometimes the quietest person in the room holds the sharpest mind. lucid, unhurried, watching, and, let's be honest, probably silently judging everyone's table manners. Law 4. Don't cling, don't flinch. You grasp for attention like it's oxygen. But the Stoics believed detachment was the root of strength. Not apathy, but calm distance. When you cease begging for respect, it arrives on its own. Let's learn the art of letting go without looking away. How refusing the bait of drama quietly commands admiration. In an age ruled by glowing screens, detachment sounds like a lost art form, ranking just below speaking fluent Latin or knowing how to fold a fitted sheet. With every ping and notification, the world tugs at your sleeve. Look at this. Care about me. Immediately and loudly. Please. Ancient Stoics, however, stared down chaos with the emotional expression of a retired house cat. Marcus Aurelius didn't lose his marbles when someone subtweeted him on a wax tablet. Instead, he practiced easy detachment, the sacred sport of not caring too much, while still caring just enough. Imagine you're minding your own business at a toga party, and someone loudly proclaims, "Seneca wears his sandals with socks." The old you would spiral. What will they think of me? Should I tweet a defense thread? Should I organize a council for my honor? But the Stoic you grins and thinks, I am not my socks. I am barely my sandals. Easy detachment is laughing along. Not because you need approval, but because you're serenely uninvested in trivial verdicts. As Epictetus put it, it's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things, especially socks. Of course, practicing this doesn't mean you transform into an uncooked potato, free of all passion, just lying there in stunned, starchy silence. No, the Stoic form of detachment is not deadness, but directed distance. When you buy a new phone and your friend immediately drops it in mashed potatoes, detachment is not pretending you love mashed potatoes more than technology. It's pausing. It's observing the unfolding potato phone tragedy, inhaling and thinking, all right, the universe has spoken. Perhaps my phone was fated to become a side dish. Your calm is not the absence of emotion, but the ability to rise above it with a wry smile. Plato and Aristotle, the unofficial tag team of ancient wisdom, both feared that in caring too much, we become prisoners of every breeze. The Stoics sharpened this idea, especially when surrounded by people who confuse gossip with actual news. Detachment means you don't take the bait. When someone invites you into a drama spiral, you assess it as calmly as a Stoic squirrel. Do I need to chase this acorn? Or is that just a shiny thing rolling by? Your mantra becomes, this does not require my participation. Watch as admiration quietly accumulates, not because you demanded it, simply because you didn't lunge for it. Detachment, as a daily habit, can begin with the smallest things. Practice letting go when the barista spells your name, Alexandra. Smile serenely when someone corrects your pronunciation of quinoa in public. Experiment with being the unbothered observer at your next family debate about whether putting ketchup on eggs is barbaric. You don't have to fix everything, prove your rightness, or leap into every digital duel. Over time, easy detachment reveals itself as the secret superpower of those who glide past chaos. You're not frozen, you're fluid. You don't shun engagement. Your boundaries simply wear sunglasses and a slight grin. Gradually, respect drifts your way, humming on a gentle breeze, precisely because you are the rare person, immune to insecurity's gravitational pull. No need to beg for dignity or broadband approval. It all arrives, ironically, when you no longer chase it. Tonight, as you drift closer to sleep, let detachment be your unofficial pillow. If anxious thoughts paddle up and demand you care, respond with a smile, a maybe later, and just watch them float away. Because mastery, the Stoics would say, is presence without possession, attention without attachment. So let the worries pass by and settle comfortably into the gentle art of easy detachment. No clinging, no flinching, just the quiet strength of someone who knows that letting go is sometimes the greatest power of all. Law 5. Speak in stones, not pebbles. Every time you break your own word, agree to please, or gossip for cheap popularity, you chip away at your authority. Stoicism says, speak little, but when you do, make it count. Tonight, we'll show how carefully weighted words become the bricks of self-respect, and why loose talk is for the weak. Let's imagine you're a philosopher, perched like a wise owl on the telephone wire of your own life, watching the parade of conversations below. Most people, let's be honest, are pigeons. They coo continuously. Did you hear about Janet's new job? Chad's haircut? The soup at Tony's place? Their words drift like stray feathers, soft, forgettable, and landing everywhere except where they should. Unfazed, our stoic owl blinks once, twice, and waits for the right moment, then hoots something profound, stopping traffic and sparking midnight existential crises. Measured speaking is not silence, but restraint with purpose. It's like seasoning food, not too bland, not a culinary salt lick. The ancient Romans called it gravitas. The Stoics called it virtue. Today it's known as not replying to group chats with lol or same. Epictetus, that bouncer at the Club of Wisdom, warned, let silence be your general rule, or say only what is necessary and in few words. In other words, don't narrate your entire salad experience unless the croutons staged a coup. It's tempting to fill every conversational pothole with noise, especially when someone is waffling at you about elevator weather or their third cousin's rash. But every empty phrase you give away, a maybe, a yeah, I guess, a nervous giggle, sells off a brick of your own credibility. The Stoic is not rude, but neither are they a vending machine dispensing affirmation for a quarter. Being agreeable is easy, but it's a poor investment with high inflation. Eventually, no one believes you when you drop a real, heavy truth, because your words have been devalued by all those conversational IOUs. Measured speaking requires deciding even before your lips part, whether this is a pebble or a stone. Is it just to pass time, or does it have weight and structure, like a well-cut piece of marble fitted into the architecture of your reputation? It's the difference between idle rain and the river that carves a canyon. When you speak, ask, is this brick laying a foundation, or is it just another pebble for the wind to scatter? It's more comfortable, sometimes, to pad your speech with fluff or excuses, especially when you want to soften a truth or avoid discomfort. But when you trade honesty for approval, your tongue ends up bankrupting your character. The Stoic path is paved with the stones of difficult truths, smoothed only by compassion, never by compromise. It's better to speak once and let your words echo than to shout your opinions until nobody's listening. To practice the habit of measured speaking, start tonight, even in your half-dreamy state. Picture your thoughts lined up at the mouth, like shoppers queued outside the latest phone launch. Only let the VIPs in. The rest, let them wait in silence. There is serenity in not needing to fill every gap, a calm steadiness in allowing some things to pass unspoken. Imagine the people in your life pausing, just a tad bewildered, the first time you swap pleasantries for purposeful, thoughtful silence. They'll begin to listen more closely, curious about what precious stones you'll unveil next. Measured words are memorable, and yes, sometimes a well-placed packs more punch than 3 pages of explanation. Use words as a mason uses stone. sparingly, precisely, and always with the intention to build up, never to bury. When every word matters, you foster trust, first in yourself, then reflected back from others. Even your silence speaks volumes, like a loaded cannon that everyone assumes is just choosing not to fire. For now. So tonight, whisper your intentions softly, but let your courage and clarity be the true echoes in your wake. Speak little, speak well, and let your words, when you choose them, ring out heavy and bright. Stones on the path to yourself. Law 6. Command yourself. Command the room. When chaos erupts around you, what's your default? Do you mirror it? Or do you become a still pond in a storm? The Stoics trained themselves to meet outrage with stillness, insults with a raised eyebrow, not a raised pulse. This is where you learn to become the embodied calm that unnerves the noisy world. Picture yourself at a staff meeting that's rapidly devolving into a medieval tavern brawl, except with more PowerPoint. Voices pitch up, fingers jab at the air. Someone, somewhere, is just short of brandishing a laser pointer like a wand of doom. Your instincts might whisper, match their volume, defend your turf. But what if you didn't? What if instead you remain impossibly unbothered, like an ancient, wise tortoise in a room of caffeinated squirrels? This is the Stoic flex. Visible self-mastery. Visible self-mastery isn't about pretending you don't have emotions, or even worse, morphing into a robot who has never known the gentle sting of a stubbed toe. It's about noticing the wild tides within, acknowledging, yes, there's my frustration, my old friend, and there goes my urge to dramatically sigh. But then, you choose your response, rather than having it chosen for you by old habits, or cosplaying as the world's most put-upon office worker. Now, let's be honest. This sort of composure is annoyingly contagious. When you sit in tension, yet look like you just sniffed a lavender farm, people notice. It confuses their inner drama engines. The wildest performer in the room suddenly considers calming down. Why? Because they're unwittingly tuning to a different frequency. Yours. You become the Wi-Fi router of emotional bandwidth, the still point in a whirring hurricane. Epictetus would probably remind you that every day is a kind of performance. Review. Except you're both the reviewer and the reviewed. He recommended rehearsing adversity, as if life is an improv class, and your scene partner is an over-caffeinated universe. Imagine stepping outside in the morning and saying, today, someone may cut me off in traffic, forget my birthday, or send me 17 LinkedIn invites in 1 hour. That is, unfortunately, up to them. How I respond? That's up to me. It is, in fact, the ultimate life hack. Refusing to grant the keys to your emotional Ferrari to every passing stranger. People notice those who don't flinch when confronted by the absurd. The coworker who laughs softly when the Wi-Fi collapses. The customer service rep who, when a caller rains down complaints, simply says, I hear you. Self-mastery is not just a private affair. It is a visible, contagious form of leadership, one that quietly changes the climate in every room you silently command. Now, you may ask, isn't this just repression, but with a fancier toga? Not quite. Repression is cramming your anger and annoyance into a box so tight that, later, it explodes all over innocent bystanders, usually via a snarky reply to someone asking about printer paper. Self-mastery is more like a gentle but firm negotiation with your inner zoo. You don't have to pretend your monkey mind isn't jumping from branch to branch. You just calmly inform it. Now is not the time, little buddy. At its core, visible self-mastery is about cultivating an internal stillness so profound that the world may knock, but it can't barge in without your invitation. It's building a visible habit, yes, but more importantly, an attitude, a subtle, quiet reminder to yourself and others that chaos can visit, but never move in. So next time the world prods your boundaries and invites you to jump into the mosh pit of overreaction, pause, channel your inner Stoic sage, command yourself, command the room. Watch in quiet amusement as the storm settles, not because you demanded calm, but because you demonstrated it. And in this stillness, you become oddly magnetic, the calm in the chaos, the punchline in the drama, the reminder that mastery never shouts, but is always seen. Law 7. Dress your day in dignity. If you treat yourself like a doormat in private, others will see the footprints. Seneca washed away the day's bitterness with evening rituals of gratitude and forgiveness, not for others, but for himself. Let's ritualize self-respect so deeply that it shows before you say a word. When you think of dignity, maybe you imagine regal people in expensive robes, sweeping around marble halls, dropping multisyllabic words like equanimity. But you don't need a toga or even a bathrobe. Self-respect is simpler and much less itchy. It's a habit, a set of little rituals, performed quietly and invisibly, unless you count your cat, who's judging you anyway. Seneca would begin his ritual each night by reviewing his day, an ancient precursor to scrolling through your mental feed before falling asleep. Except instead of doom scrolling, it was more like Zoom scrolling. His question wasn't, what disaster awaits tomorrow? But, did my behavior reflect my own standards? No one else needed to approve. Like a stoic ninja, he acted for his own conscience, not an audience. Modern ritual might be less candlelit, but just as powerful. Make a habit of checking in with yourself in the mirror, not just to ensure you don't have broccoli in your teeth, but to ask, am I being fair to myself? Or have I let my inner critic redecorate my headspace again? If you wouldn't let a rude houseguest stain your sofa, then don't let self-contempt put muddy boots on your mind. Self-respect isn't loud. It whispers through your posture, your choices, and the way you narrate your life when nobody is listening. Picture Marcus Aurelius pressing pause on the cosmic playlist to say, let's not do anything today that we'll regret at 3 a.m., okay? His own meditations rarely mention what others did to him. He was too busy managing his own inner kingdom, which had a strict no self-sabotage policy. So, how do you ritualize self-respect when the world tries to convince you to outsource your validation? Start by curating your own mental playlist of affirmations. Not the cheesy ones that make you cringe, but honest reminders. I survived another day without rage tweeting. I fixed that thing I kept procrastinating on. I let a rude driver merge without imagining their tires becoming square-shaped. Tiny wins count. Turn them into a nightly highlight reel, preferably narrated by Morgan Freeman in your mind. Next, set boundaries that are sacred, even if only you know about them. If 7:15 p.m. is when you need solitude, treat it the way the Stoics treated symposiums. Politely, but firmly. Ritualize it. Sorry, I have a commitment to myself at this hour. If someone objects, simply nod knowingly as if you've just been summoned by a secret society of very chill philosophers. Cultivate visible cues of self-respect. A nightstand with a favorite book, not your phone. An outfit that feels like you, not like someone else's idea of productivity. Even if you're in pajamas with cartoon avocados, wear them with intention, because nothing says confidence like a bedtime fruit fashion statement. And then, to end the day, try Seneca's signature move. Forgiveness. Not the grand dramatic kind, just a gentle, ritual clearing of the mental slate. Today was imperfect, but I showed up. I can let it go now. This act, done quietly every night, builds an armor of self-respect so sturdy that eventually the opinions and projections of others bounce off, landing harmlessly in the recycling bin of other people's business. The habit of ritualized self-respect isn't a luxury for monks or marble statue emperors. It's as practical as brushing your teeth, just for the mind. Let your daily rituals tell your psyche, and by extension, the world, I am a worthy custodian of my own dignity. Yes, even in avocado pajamas. Law 8. Outsmart. Don't outshout. Disrespect usually finds the uninformed. If you stop learning, you invite defeat and defensiveness. The Stoics read, reflected, debated, never stuck in arrogance, always hungry for perspective. Tonight, we'll discuss making self-education your silent weapon, so your presence alone shifts conversations. Imagine Marcus Aurelius, emperor by day, philosopher by night, squinting at ancient scrolls under a flickering lantern, determined not to become yet another tyrant allergic to growth. He knew, when you stop reading, you start rotting. The mind is like a suspicious sourdough starter. Feed it with fresh knowledge, or brace yourself for an existential fungus that eats away at your judgment. We modern Stoics have a buffet of knowledge bouncing around in our pockets. Books, podcasts, embarrassing search histories. But relentless self-education isn't about rabbit-holing for the sake of trivia or impressing dinner guests with the number of Roman emperors you can list. No, it's a daily, gentle rebellion against stagnancy. It's the inner whisper, what don't I know yet? Spoken with both humility and a dash of mischief. Imagine walking into a meeting where everyone's ready to flex credentials like bodybuilders at a toga contest. You, armed with fresh perspectives from 5 minutes of random Wikipedia wandering and 10 minutes reflecting on Seneca's letters, don't need to outshout. You outsmart. When the room heats up, your silence radiates quiet depth. This is not the muteness of ignorance, but the silence of a seasoned chess player who already knows the next move. Stoics pursued autodidacticism, not just for self-edification, but as a form of armor against manipulation, groupthink, and boredom with their own thoughts. Life's curveballs are far less scary when you've trained your mind to see the unfamiliar as an invitation to grow. You sip your morning coffee, and instead of doom scrolling, you ponder, can I get wiser before breakfast? Pro tip, even Epictetus would skip that motivational YouTube grind set if it cut into actual reading time. The trick isn't to consume everything, everywhere, all at once. That's a recipe for digital indigestion and a permanent state of, what was I saying again? Stoic self-education is slow cooked. It's reading with a pencil, arguing with footnotes, reflecting in the shower, and waking at 3 a.m. for a sudden insight about emotional resilience or the worthlessness of arguing in YouTube comments. Little by little, this creates an inner library that can handle any plot twist life throws at you. Even the philosophers knew learning is sometimes uncomfortable. A Trojan horse that smuggles humility past your ego's defenses. You may unearth ideas that undermine pet beliefs, expose gaps in your knowledge, or trigger the sinking suspicion that the family's stubborn parrot is secretly wiser than you. That's the point. If you're not occasionally humbled, you're not really learning. You're just collecting facts for intellectual bingo. Make self-education a habit not out of anxiety, but out of love for wisdom and a good story. Read things that challenge and tickle you. Keep a notebook for half-baked revelations, and even more half-baked doodles. Argue playfully with a friend about ancient philosophers, as if you're at a debate club for sleep-deprived turtles. Above all, remember, it isn't the loudest in the room who wins, but the one who thought hardest when nobody was looking. In a world forever bellowing for attention, choose to be quietly formidable. Make your learning so persistent, so baked in, that you don't have to show receipts. Your calm presence will do the talking. The Stoic way isn't to outshout, but to outsmart, night after night. Insight by wonky insight. That's the bedtime story Marcus Aurelius would have read himself, lantern in hand, savouring wisdom instead of chasing applause. Law 9. Leave quietly, leave completely. Not every war is yours to fight. Not every loss is a tragedy. Sometimes the greatest flex is the calm, final walk away. The Stoics left when dignity demanded it. Here, you'll master the quiet goodbye, the art of removing yourself with so much grace that your absence is worth more than your presence. Let's imagine you're at a dinner party. The conversation takes a nosedive into awkwardness. Perhaps Barbara from accounting is insisting celery is a solid replacement for cake, or someone is passionately defending their theory that pigeons are, in fact, undercover government agents. At this moment, you have a choice. Leap into battle, celery in hand, feathers ruffled, or slip away, serene, as if you were never there. The Stoics' method? Make like a cloud and float on by. No thunderclap departures, no scorched earth. Just ease yourself into the night, dignity intact, and make your absence harder to notice than your presence ever was. This isn't about giving up. It's about choosing your battles like a gourmet picks their cheese platter. Epictetus didn't chase approval at every forum. Marcus Aurelius didn't mic drop every meeting. They knew that staying too long out of stubbornness or fear eroded their peace faster than a seagull on a discarded sandwich. Gracious withdrawal is the secret passage out of chaos, the polite Irish exit from pointless debate, the Houdini act from someone else's emotional quicksand. Sometimes, the most impactful thing you can contribute to a situation is your absence. Now, picture your mind as a high-end art gallery. Not every artwork deserves a wall. Some invitations, arguments, petty power plays, drama disguised as productivity, deserve to be turned away at the door. Seneca would curate his involvement with the precision of a museum director. Will I leave this situation with my dignity, or will I be that painting hung crooked in the hallway, blamed for the whole aesthetic? Gracious withdrawal is about stepping out while you still look good, in the frame. Of course, leaving gracefully is an act, not an accident. It's rising from your chair with a smile, not a sigh. It's quietly picking up your emotional luggage and walking through the exit without shaking the metaphorical snow globe on your way out. In the Stoic playbook, this is not just okay. It's legendary. The silent departure is more dignified than 1,000 dramatic speeches or a frantic scroll through your phone, desperately faking a sudden emergency, unless, of course, you receive a text from Zeus himself, which, if you do, please screenshot for proof. Gracious withdrawal also means never cursing the room as you close the door. The urge to passive-aggressively clear your throat, send accidental, loud emails, or leave your chair conspicuously unpushed. Resist it all. Be so quiet, so gentle in your withdrawal, that people question if you were there in the first place. Your absence should be so full of composure that it haunts the room, a benevolent ghost of restraint. Heed this law in every sphere. Relationships, work, family, WhatsApp groups, group chats named Epic Banter, all can benefit from your elegant exit. You are not the main character in every scene. Sometimes, the side character who exits stage left is the real hero of the plot. As the Stoics practiced, remain unmoved by chaos. Be the water in the glass, not the storm outside the window. Finally, remember, withdrawing graciously is never weakness. It's knowing what deserves your time and what doesn't even deserve your emoji reaction. Like a samurai with a sheathed sword, your power lies in knowing when not to swing. The Stoic exit is always in style, a timeless, silent ballet. The world rarely notices when we storm out, but it always remembers when we leave with poise, having made the choice to honor ourselves above the noise. Law 10. Their disrespect, your release. They will sneer, they will misunderstand. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Whenever you are offended, realize you are complicit in your own suffering. When you forgive quickly, not to excuse, but to free yourself, disrespect evaporates. Tonight, cultivate the habit of unchaining yourself, so even when others fall, you rise untouched. Forgiveness is not a parade with confetti and a soundtrack of harps. No, forgiveness often feels like sitting in a dentist's waiting room while a squirrel judges your magazine selection. Someone cuts in front of you, in line, oblivious to all social contracts. Your first impulse is to draft a strongly worded essay in your mind on the civics of supermarkets and the audacity of bananas. But tonight, you do not draft essays. You let the narrative pass by like a cloud. Because patient forgiveness is a habit, a muscle, not a loophole for others, but a lock for your own peace. Imagine now, the world's pettiest villain, Captain Microaggression, swooping through your day with the power to roll eyeballs at record-breaking velocity. He hurls a sarcastic comment. In the old story, your pulse jumps, indignation puffs its chest, and for hours, you rehearse snappy comebacks in the shower. But what if, at the first sign of disrespect, your response isn't vengeance, but vapor, an exhale so deep it turns slights to fog? That is your real magic trick, the power to let things float on by, not from weakness, but because your harbour is too precious for stray ships docked by fools. Epictetus, another unintentional stand-up comedian of antiquity, once said, "Remember, it is not he who insults you who is to blame, but your own opinion that insults are harmful." That doesn't mean you must become a doormat or hand out free passes for terrible behaviour. Stoicism isn't the art of being emotionally pickpocketed in silence. Instead, you choose to respond sparingly, never conflating your worth with someone else's rudeness. Every time you let go, you build the muscle of patient forgiveness, and trust me, it's more effective than a grudge-fueled power walk. Tonight, as you wind down, scan your mind for those who trespassed. Raise a mental eyebrow, offer them a tiny, invisible wave, and send them merrily on their way. No receipts, no tab. You are the bouncer at the velvet rope of your psyche. Do you really want resentment on the VIP list? Didn't think so. You will not let someone's offhand slight booby trap your evening. That is an energy tax too expensive for the wise. Without fanfare, you forgive. Not so they can sleep easy, but so you can. Forgiveness is your friendliest protest, a refusal to drag the heavy furniture of yesterday's insults any further. Because, just as Marcus Aurelius would say, if he had a Bluetooth speaker and a playlist of lo-fi beats, your tranquility is yours to protect, and you don't surrender it for the price of a stranger's bad day. Forgiveness, practiced nightly, becomes less about them and more about the clear air you breathe when you no longer carry other people's dust. Even the greatest Stoic emperors didn't get it perfect every time. Sometimes, they too wanted to launch a metaphorical sandal at someone's head. But, after a few deep breaths and a review of life's absurdities, they chose release. Breathe in the calm. Feel, for a moment, how your heartbeat slows when no one owns it but you. Tonight, you walk the inner road, the detours, the battlegrounds, the silent victories that no crowd will ever witness. But dignity was never a consensus. It was a decision. Master these habits, and you'll find that respect cannot be begged, bought, or barked for. It is simply the aura of self-command, a field so strong others feel it before you say a word. Stand up slowly now, not for applause, but for that sweet taste of unbreakable peace. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be respected, not just by others, but finally, by yourself. Carry that silence with you. Walk quietly. Walk free. Breathe in the calm. Feel, for a moment, how your heartbeat slows when no one owns it but you. Tonight, you walk the inner road, the detours, the battlegrounds, the silent victories that no crowd will ever witness. But dignity was never a consensus. It was a decision. Master these habits, and you'll find that respect cannot be begged, bought, or barked for. It is simply the aura of self-command, a field so strong others feel it before you say a word. Stand up slowly now, not for applause, but for that sweet taste of unbreakable peace. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be respected, not just by others, but finally, by yourself. Carry that silence with you. Walk quietly. Walk free.